Eden Hazard.
Eden Hazard is a Belgian professional footballer, who plays for Chelsea in the Premier League and the Belgium national team. He primarily plays as an attacking midfielder and a winger. Hazard is known for his creativity, speed, and technical ability and is described as a fearless, explosive attacking midfielder who can change the game with a turn of pace or a dribble. He has also been described as a superb passer, and has earned critical acclaim for his playing style, which has led to the media, coaches, and players drawing comparisons to FIFA Ballon d'Or winners Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Hazard is the son of former Belgian footballers and began his football career in Belgium playing for local clubs Royal Stade Brennooy and Tubize. In 2005, he moved to France joining First Division club Lille. Hazard spent 2 years in the club's academy and, at the age of 16, made his professional debut in November 2007. He went on to become an integral part of Lille under manager Rudi Garcia, racking up over 190 appearances. In his first full season as a starter, he won the National Union of Professional Footballers, UNFP, Young Player of the Year award, becoming the first non-French player to win the award. In the 2009 October season, Hazard captured the award again, becoming the first player to win the award twice. He was also named to the league's Team of the Year. In the 2010 November season, he was a part of the Lille team that won the league and cup double and, as a result of his performances, was named the UNFP Ligue 1 Player of the Year, becoming the youngest player to win the award. Hazard was also given the Bravo Award by Italian magazine Gran Sportivo for his performances during the 2010 November season. In June 2012, after over 8 years at Lille, Hazard departed the club, amid much transfer speculation, to join English club Chelsea. Hazard is a Belgium international, having represented his nation at under-17 and under-19 level. Prior to starring for the senior team, he played on the under-17 team that qualified for the 2007 UEFA European Under-17 Football Championship and 2007 FIFA U17 World Cup. Hazard made his senior international debut in November 2008, at the age of 17 years and 316 days, in a friendly match against Luxembourg. Nearly 3 years after his debut, Hazard scored his first international goal against Kazakhstan in October 2011.
Personal life.
Hazard was born in La Louvière and grew up in Braine-le-Comte. His mother, Karen, and father, Thierry, not to be confused with the French singer and songwriter of the same name, were both footballers. His father spent most of his career playing at semi-professional level with La Louvière in the Belgian second division. He played mainly as a defensive midfielder. His mother played as a striker in the Belgian women's first division and stopped playing when she was 3 months pregnant with Eden. After playing football, both parents became sports teachers. Thierry retired from his position in 2009 in order to devote more time to his children. Hazard is the eldest of 4 children. He has 3 brothers, all of whom play football, including Thorgan, who joined him at Chelsea in 2012 and had previously progressed through the youth ranks of Lille's biggest rivals Lens. Hazard's other younger brothers are Kylian and Ethan. In July 2013, Kylian joined White Star Bruxelles, while Ethan remains playing in the youth academy of Eden's former club Tubize. Hazard and his 3 brothers were raised in a comfortable environment with their parents ensuring they had whatever they needed to excel. The family lived no more than 3 meters from a football training ground and the brothers often ventured onto a training pitch through a small hole in order to hone and develop their skills. Hazard is married to Natasha. On December 19, 2010, Belgian and French media announced that she had given birth to a baby boy, Yanis. She gave birth to their second son, Leo, in February 2013.
Club career. Early career.
Hazard began his football career playing for hometown club Royal Stade Brennooy at the age of 4. During his time at the club, one of his youth coaches described him as a gifted player. He added, "He knew everything. I had nothing to teach him." Hazard spent 8 years at the club before moving to Tubize. While at Tubize, he was spotted by a Lille scout while playing in a local tournament with the club. The scout's subsequent report on the player prompted club officials to meet with Hazard's father and offer the young player an aspirant, youth, contract. Hazard's parents accepted the offer from Lille with hopes that the training facilities in France would be better. Hazard's father later admitted that the decision to let Eden and, later Thorgan, join clubs in the north of France was the best solution, stating they remained so close to home and, at the same time, they integrated at structures where they could grow, because in Belgium, unfortunately, it's a little empty for the training of youth.
Lille.
Hazard joined Lille in 2005 and spent 2 years developing in the club's local sports school, due to its youth academy in Luchin not being in operation at that time. On May 28, 2007, he signed his first professional contract, agreeing to a 3-year deal with Lille. At the start of the 2007 August season, at the age of 16, Hazard was promoted to the club's reserve team in the Championnat de France Amateur, the 4th level of French football, though he still played with Lille's under-18 team in its league and the Coupe Gambardella. Hazard made his amateur debut on September 1, 2007 in a league match against Racing Club de France, appearing as a second-half substitute in a 3-1 defeat. He made his first start a week later in the team's 1-0 defeat to Leskin. After spending the majority of October and the early part of November playing with the club's under-18 team, on November 14, due to several players being on international duty, Hazard was called up to the senior team by manager Claude Puel to participate in a friendly match against Belgian club Bruges on November 16. He appeared as a substitute in the match and, as a result of his performance, was included in the 18-man squad to face Nancy in a league match on November 24. Hazard, subsequently, made his professional debut in the match, coming on as a substitute in the 78th minute. Hazard returned to the club's reserve team and spent December playing with the squad. Following the winter break, Hazard returned to the first team in January and made substitute appearances in 3 league matches against Metz, Sochaux, and Paris Saint-Germain. Following the match against Paris Saint-Germain, he was demoted back to amateur level, where he played concurrently with the reserve team in the 4th division and the under-18 team in the Coupe Gambardella. On May 17, 2008, he scored his first amateur goal in a 3-2 victory over Vita. Hazard finished his amateur career with 11 appearances and 1 goal, helping the reserve team finished in 5th place, which was first among professional clubs' reserve teams playing in the group.
2008 September season.
For the 2008 September season, Hazard was given the number 26 shirt after playing with the number 33 shirt in his debut season. He was also promoted to the senior team permanently by new manager Rudy Garcia. Early on, he made substitute appearances regularly, making his season debut as a substitute on September 14, 2008 against Sochaux in a 1-1 draw. One of his substitute appearances proved beneficial against Auxerre on September 20. With Lille trailing 2-1 in the waning minutes of the match, Hazard, after Lille took a corner kick, quickly scooped up a short clearance from Auxerre and took a right-footed shot just outside the box. It beat the keeper and drew the score 2-2 in the 88th minute. With Lille's confidence high, the club won the match 3-2 in injury time following a goal from Tullio De Mello. Hazard's first career goal resulted in him becoming the youngest goal scorer in the club's history. 4 days after scoring his first professional goal, Hazard made his first professional start in a 4-2 defeat on penalties to Montpellier in the Coupe de la Ligue. After featuring as a substitute in the team's next 5 league matches, on November 15, Hazard made his first professional league start against Saint-Étienne. He capped the appearance by scoring the opening goal in the club's 3-0 victory. His assured performances with the club resulted in Lille offering him a 3-year contract extension, which he agreed to on November 18, 2008, tying him to the club until 2012. After featuring as a substitute in December, Hazard returned to the starting lineup in January. On January 23, he scored the second goal in a 3-0 win over amateur club Dunkirk in round of 32 of the Coupe de France. 2 weeks later, he scored the match-winning goal in a league match against Sokol and, on February 22, assisted on the winner against Monaco. In the round of 16 of the Coupe de France, Hazard netted a goal in a 3-2 win over the competition's defending champions Lyon. On April 26, he scored the opening goal against Marseille, though Lille lost the match 2-1. In the final 10 league matches of the campaign, Hazard started 8 and contributed to the team finishing in 5th place, which resulted in Lille qualifying for the newly created UEFA Europa League. After the season, he was named the National Union of Professional Footballers, UNFP, Young Player of the Year, becoming the first international player to achieve the honor.
2009 October season.
Following the 2008 September season, constant media speculation occurred in numerous countries regarding Hazard's availability on the transfer market. Despite Lille chairman Michel Sudou declaring the player off limits and Hazard stating that he wanted to remain at the club for at least another season, several clubs declared interest in the player. These included English clubs Arsenal and Manchester United, Italian club Internazionale, and Spanish clubs Barcelona and Real Madrid. French football legend Zinedine Zidane personally recommended the player to the latter club. Hazard began the 2009 October season on a positive note, scoring in Lille's first competitive match of the season. The goal, contributing to the team's 2-0 victory, came against Serbian club FK Sarajevo in the first leg of the club's third qualifying round match in the UEFA Europa League. On August 27, he scored his second career European goal in the club's second leg tie in the playoff round against Belgian club Genk. It was Lille's final goal in the club's 4-2 victory. The 6-3 aggregate scoreline assured the club progression to the Europa League group stage. On October 22, Hazard scored a goal in Lille's important 3-0 victory over Italian club Genoa in the 84th minute after entering as a substitute 10 minutes prior. Upon receiving the ball on the left wing, Hazard proceeded to dash through the midfield, dribbling past 6 Genoa defenders before finishing at the 18-yard box. A month later, Hazard was instrumental in Lille's 5-1 thrashing of Czech club Slavia Prague, as he was partly responsible for the opening goal, slicing through the defence and delivering a cross near post, which went off Slavia player Mirk Suchi, resulting in an own goal. On December 20, Hazard scored his first league goal of the season in the club's 3-0 win over Le Mans. He also provided both the assists on the other 2 goals. On January 30, Hazard scored the only goal in Lille's win over Derby du Nord rivals Lens. The victory helped the club achieve stability in the league by keeping them in the UEFA Champions League places. It also ended a disaster of a week which saw Lille suffer elimination from both of France's cup competitions. 5 days later, Hazard and Lille reached an agreement on a contract extension, which will keep the player at the club until 2014. On March 11, Hazard scored the only goal in Lille's victory over English club Liverpool in the first leg of the club's UEFA Europa League tie, converting a free kick in the 83rd minute. 3 weeks later, Hazard provided 2 assists in the club's 4-1 win over fellow title contenders Montpellier. The 2 passes brought his league tally to 7, tied for second in the league. For his impressive displays in the month of March, Hazard was given the UNFP Player of the Month award. On April 29, Hazard was nominated for the UNFP Ligue 1 Player of the Year award. He was also nominated, for the second consecutive season, for the Young Player of the Year award. On May 9, Hazard was awarded the UNFP Young Player of the Year trophy for the second consecutive season. He became the first player since its inception in 1994 to win the award twice. Hazard lost out on the Player of the Year award, which was awarded to Lions striker Lisandro Lopez.
2010 November season.
Hazard began the 2010-11 campaign as a starter, featuring in Lille's first 6 league matches of the season, as well as matches in the UEFA Europa League. On August 29, 2010, he scored his first goal of the season in a 1-1 draw with Nice. In late September, Hazard began to struggle with inconsistency and was benched by Garcia in an effort to allow him, Hazard, to breathe and learn that his performances were insufficient. Hazard, subsequently, appeared as a substitute in the team's 2-1 defeat to Portuguese club Sporting in the Europa League and as a substitute in the next 3 league matches against Toulouse, Montpellier, and Lyon. Hazard later admitted that his first bout of inconsistency affected him, stating the first 2 months were a bit tough. "I wouldn't say that I began doubting my abilities, but I definitely went through a really patchy spell." On October 7, Belgium national team manager Georges Leekens, citing Hazard's recent spell on the bench at Lille, said that the player needed to work harder, both physically and mentally, to regain his past year's form. The team's assistant coach, Marc Wilmots, also stated that Hazard often displayed a lazy mentality while training with the national team. Garcia responded to Leekens' comments the following day, stating that he thought they were excessive, and that Eden is only 19 years old, and can still make more progress in all areas. Following Belgium's match against Kazakhstan, in which Hazard failed to start or even appear on the substitutes bench, Leekens responded to Garcia's comments, declaring that he would stand by his previous comments and that players must think about the team and not themselves. Hazard, himself, later reflected on Leekens and Garcia comments in February 2011, stating, "I learned a lot during those few weeks, mentally speaking. And since then things have got better. The national side has had a fair bit to do with that. I get a lot out of being a part of it." Following the international break, Hazard recaptured his scoring form, netting the final goal in Lille's 4-1 victory over Caen in the Coupe de la Ligue on October 27. 10 days later, he scored his second league goal of the season in a 3-1 win against the league table leaders Brest. On November 21, Hazard assisted on both Lille's goals in a 2-1 win over Monaco. The victory continued the club's domestic unbeaten streak, which led to Lille topping the league table following an emphatic 6-3 victory against Lorient on December 5. At the turn of the calendar year, Hazard scored in the team's first match against amateur club Forbach in the Coupe de France. Lille won the match 3-1. In the team's following match, he assisted on goals scored by Moussa Sow and Govinou in a 2-0 league victory over Nice. On January 19, Hazard scored the second goal in a 3-0 victory over Nancy. On March 4, Lille officials confirmed that Hazard had added an extra year to his contract. The new deal tied him to the club until 2015 and also made him the highest-paid player in Ligue 1 beginning with the 2011 December season. In his first match after the news, Hazard scored the opening goal in Lille's 2-1 away win over title rivals Marseille. The goal was scored on a left-footed shot from almost 35 meters, 38 yards, out and was clocked at 95 kilometers per hour, 59 miles per hour. On April 2, Hazard capped his 100th league appearance with Lille by scoring the second goal in a 3-1 win over Caen. The goal tied his career high for goals in a season and also moved Lille 8 points clear at the top of the league table. For his performances in the month of March, Hazard was named the UNFP Player of the Month for the second time in his career. On April 19, after appearing as a first-half substitute, he scored the opening goal in Lille's 2-0 Coupe de France semi-final victory over Nice. The victory inserted the club into the 2011 Coupe de France final. The club's first appearance in the competition's final since 1955. On May 7, Hazard converted a game-winning free-kick goal in the team's 1-0 win over Nancy. 3 days later, he was nominated for the UNFP Ligue 1 Player of the Year award for the second consecutive season. In the Coupe de France final, Hazard played 89 minutes as Lille defeated Paris Saint-Germain 1-0 at the Stade de France. A week later, Lille clinched the Ligue 1 title by drawing 2-2 away to Paris Saint-Germain, achieving the club's first league championship since the 1953-54 season and the club's first double since the 1945-46 season. The domestic cup and league title were the first two honours in Hazard's career. On the day after Lille won the league, Hazard was named the UNFP Ligue 1 Player of the Year, becoming the youngest player ever to win the award. He was also rewarded with a place in the organization's Team of the Year for the second consecutive season.
2011 December season.
Ahead of the 2011 December season, Hazard switched to the number 10 shirt. In Lille's first competitive match of the season against Marseille in the 2011 Trophée des Champions, Hazard scored the team's second goal, which put Lille up 2-0. Marseille would later come back to win the match 5-4. On August 20, in the team's third league match of the season, Hazard assisted on Lille's opening goal, scored by Benoit Pedretti, in a 2-1 win over Caen. A month later, on September 10, he scored 2 goals in a 3-1 away victory against Saint-Étienne. 4 days after, Hazard made his UEFA Champions League debut in a 2-2 group stage draw with Russian club CSKA Moscow. In Lille's next league match following his Champions League debut, he converted a penalty in a 2-2 draw with Sokol. 3 days after, Hazard scored the equalising goal in a 1-1 draw against Bordeaux. Against Turkish outfit Trabzonspor on September 27, he assisted on Lille's only goal, scored by Moussa Sow, in a 1-1 draw. After going over 2 months without scoring a league goal, on December 3, Hazard came on as a substitute and scored the match-winning goal in a win over Ajaccio, converting a penalty, described as an Antonin Panenka-style chipped penalty. 2 days later, Hazard was among several players nominated for the Union of European Football Associations, UEFA, Team of the Year for the 2011 calendar year. In Lille's final match before the winter break, Hazard tied his career high for league goals in a season by scoring the team's third goal in a 4-4 draw with Nice. After scoring the goal, Hazard celebrated by paying tribute to Malemi Bokoto, a former Lille Youth Academy player who had died a day prior. In Lille's first match following the 2011-12 winter break, Hazard scored his 9th goal of the campaign in a 6-0 away win over amateur club Chantilly in the Coupe de France. In the following month, Lille were defeated 2-0 by league rivals Marseille and eliminated from both national cup competitions. On January 28, Hazard scored the team's opening goal, converting a penalty in a 3-0 win over Saint-Étienne. 2 weeks later, he converted a free-kick goal against Bordeaux. Lille had been trailing 4-1 prior to the goal and eventually recovered to draw the match at 4-4, however, Bordeaux scored in injury time to secure a thrilling 5-4 win. On March 3, Hazard scored both team goals in a 2-2 draw with Auxerre. On March 18, Hazard scored a goal and assisted on 2 others in a 4-0 win over local rivals Valenciennes. In Lille's next match against Evian, Hazard converted a penalty and assisted on a goal by Dimitri Payet in a 3-0 win. The following week, on April 1, 2012, Hazard converted a first-half penalty and later assisted on another Payet goal to cap a 2-1 victory over Toulouse. On April 15, Hazard marked his 100th consecutive Ligue 1 appearance, which to date, is the longest current run in the French top flight, by scoring a goal and assisting on another in a 4-1 win over Ajaccio. A week later, Hazard scored another goal, this time in a 2-0 win over Dijon. On April 29, in a vital league fixture against Paris Saint-Germain, he converted his 9th penalty of the season to draw the match at 1-1, cancelling out a goal from Javier Pastor. Hazard later contributed to Lille's game-winning goal after delivering a Rabona-style cross into the box, which was laid onto the path of striker Nolan Roux, who, subsequently, converted the goal to give Lille a 2-1 win. On April 28, for the third consecutive season, Hazard was nominated for the UNFP Player of the Year award. 2 weeks later, he was awarded the prestigious honor ahead of the likes of Olivier Giroud and Jens Belander. After capturing the award, Hazard became the second player in the award's history after former Paris Saint-Germain striker Paul Eto'o to achieve the honor in consecutive seasons. He was also included in the Team of the Year for the third straight season. On May 20, Hazard appeared in his final match as a Lille player, coincidentally, against Nancy. the club he made his professional debut against. In the match, Hazard recorded his first professional hat-trick in a 4-1 win.
Chelsea.
On June 4, 2012, Chelsea officially confirmed on its website that the club had agreed terms with Lille for the transfer of Hazard. The midfielder agreed personal terms with the club and passed a medical examination. The transfer fee was reported to be priced at £32 million. Upon signing with Chelsea, Hazard told the club's official website, "I'm delighted to finally arrive here. It's a wonderful club and I can't wait to get started." Hazard was given the number 17, which was previously worn by Jose Bosingwa. On July 18, Hazard made his Chelsea debut in the club's first pre-season friendly against the Seattle Sounders and played the majority of the match, opening his Chelsea scoring account.
2012-13 season.
On August 12, 2012, Hazard made his competitive debut for Chelsea in the 2012 FA Community Shield against Manchester City, which ended in a 3-2 defeat at Villa Park. A week later, he made his league debut against Wigan Athletic at the DW Stadium. In the contest, Hazard provided the assist for Branislav Ivanovic's opening goal and, minutes later, won a penalty, which Frank Lampard converted, earning his side a 2-0 victory. He made his Stamford Bridge debut in the team's next fixture, against Reading on August 22. He won another penalty from which Lampard converted. Hazard also assisted on goals by Gary Cahill and Branislav Ivanovic as Chelsea won 4-2 at Stamford Bridge. 3 days later, Hazard scored his first goal as a Chelsea player in the team's league match against Newcastle United after scoring a penalty. Chelsea won the match 2-0. Hazard made his Champions League debut for Chelsea in the team's opening group stage game against Juventus. On October 6, he scored his second goal for Chelsea in a 4-1 win against Norwich City. During December he scored in back-to-back games, in a 5-1 win against Leeds United in the League Cup, and 8-0 league win against Aston Villa. In January 2013, Hazard scored a stunning goal with his left foot from 25 yards in Chelsea's 0-4 win over Stoke City, as Chelsea inflicted the first home defeat of the season on Stoke. He scored again in the following game, with an impressive strike from the edge of the area in a 2-2 draw at home to Southampton. On January 23, 2013, he was sent off in the Football League Cup semi-final second leg game against Swansea City for kicking a ball out from underneath a ball boy who was lying on it in order to waste time. Chelsea went on to lose the tie 2-0. Thereafter, he told Chelsea TV that he apologised and the boy apologised to each other. On February 9, he scored on his return from suspension in a 4-1 win at home against Wigan Athletic. On February 21, 2013, Hazard came on as a substitute against Sparta Prague and scored an individual goal in stoppage time, to send Chelsea through to the last 16 on a 2-1 aggregate score. Again Hazard came off the bench to make an impact for Chelsea, scoring a goal and providing an assist to Ramirez, as the Blues came back from 2-0 down to salvage a 2-2 draw against Manchester United in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup on March 10, setting up a replay at Stamford Bridge. On March 17, 2013, Hazard put in a man-of-the-match performance at Stamford Bridge in a 2-0 victory over West Ham United, assisting on Frank Lampard's 200th Chelsea goal, then scoring a solo goal. On May 11, 2013, at Villa Park, Hazard was the provider of Lampard's brace against Aston Villa, which enabled Lampard to break Bobby Tambling's all-time goal-scoring record for Chelsea. Hazard ended his debut campaign at Chelsea with 13 goals in all competitions.
2013-14 season.
One of Chelsea's first games of the season was against Bayern Munich in the 2013 UEFA Super Cup, where Hazard played a vital role in the build-up to the first goal and scored the second, but went on to an eventual 5-4 defeat in the penalty shootout. In October 2013, Hazard, as a substitute, scored the game-clinching goal in a 3-1 Premier League clash against Norwich City at Carrow Road, before scoring twice and assisting Samuel Eto'o's first Chelsea goal in a comprehensive defeat of Cardiff City in the same competition. Hazard netted his fifth goal of the season against Schalke in a crucial 0-3 Champions League group stage win. In October, Hazard was part of the 23-man shortlist of players nominated for the prestigious FIFA Ballon d'Or, awarded to the player who is voted the Men's World Footballer of the Year. On November 9, 2013, Hazard created Chelsea's first goal against West Bromwich Albion, which was scored by Samuel Eto'o. Later in the match Chelsea went 2-1 down, but Hazard scored a last-minute penalty to clinch a point for his team. On December 4, 2013, Hazard scored a brace in a 4-3 away victory over Sunderland, with coach Jose Mourinho claiming that Hazard delivered his best performance of the season. Sunderland manager Gus Poyet also praised Hazard for his individual impact on the game. Poyet said, "Eden Hazard was outstanding. He was unplayable. As a manager I haven't come up against anyone like that." On December 26, 2013, Hazard scored the only goal in Chelsea's 1-0 victory over Swansea. In Chelsea's next league match, Hazard scored a goal from 25 yards during Chelsea's 2-1 victory over Liverpool. The following week, Hazard scored the opening goal in Chelsea's 2-0 victory away to Hull City. After Hazard maintained his excellent form in Chelsea's 1-0 victory over Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium on February 3, 2014, Mourinho declared Hazard as the best young footballer in the world. Hazard scored his first Premier League and Chelsea hat-trick against Newcastle United at Stamford Bridge on February 8. On April 27, 2014, Hazard won the PFA Young Player of the Year award and finished as the runner-up to Luis Suarez for the PFA Player of the Year award for his fine attacking performances under Jose Mourinho.
International career. Youth.
Hazard has played for various Belgian national youth teams, such as the under-17 and under-19 teams. With the under-17 team, Hazard was a regular in the team, making 17 appearances and scoring 4 goals. He played with the team in the Toto Cup, a yearly international youth tournament held in Austria, and, also, played in the 2007 UEFA European Under-17 Football Championship, which Belgium hosted. In the tournament, Hazard scored his only goal in the team's opening match against the Netherlands, converting a penalty in a 2-2 draw. The match was a homecoming for Hazard, as it was played in Tubize, where he spent part of his youth career. Throughout the tournament, Hazard impressed media and coaches, which led to many in Belgium comparing him to Belgian football legend Enzo Ciaffo. Belgium suffered elimination in the semi-finals of the competition, losing to Spain 7-6 on penalties. Belgium were minutes away from a victory, courtesy of an own goal from David Rochella, which Hazard was particularly instrumental in. However, Barcelona's striker Bojan Krkic equalised for his nation to send the match into extra time. Due to finishing in third place at the tournament, Belgium qualified for the 2007 FIFA U17 World Cup, held in South Korea. Hazard was selected to participate and played in all 3 group stage matches, where Belgium were eliminated. After playing at the FIFA U17 World Cup in August and September 2007, Hazard began earning call-ups to the under-19 team the following month in October. His first appearance came in a 2008 UEFA European Under-19 Football Championship qualification match against Romania, coming on as a substitute in a 4-0 victory. He subsequently played in the next 2 group stage matches against Iceland and England. Belgium lost both matches. The negative results eliminated the country from the tournament. Due to being an underage player the previous year, Hazard was eligible for the under-19 team for the 2008 September season. Due to his growing participation with Lille's first team, Hazard was only allowed to play in 2009 UEFA European Under-19 Football Championship qualification matches by his club and, as a result, missed the 2008 edition of the Milk Cup, which was held during Lille's pre-season. On October 7, 2008, Hazard scored his first under-19 goal in the team's 5-0 victory over Estonia. 3 days later, He scored a double in a 2-2 draw with Croatia. In the elite round, Hazard led the team in goals, scoring 3. In the opening match against the Republic of Ireland, he scored the lone goal. In the next match, Hazard was influential in the team's 5-0 thrashing of Sweden, scoring a goal and assisting on 2 others. In the team's final match, they faced Switzerland. Belgium needed an outright victory to progress to the 2009 UEFA European Under-19 Football Championship, but were eliminated from qualifying after drawing 1-1 with the Swiss, despite Hazard opening the scoring for Belgium in the 21st minute.
Senior.
On November 18, 2008, Hazard was called up to the Belgium senior team, for the first time, by manager René van der Eycken for the team's match against Luxembourg. Prior to making his national team debut with Belgium, Hazard was courted by French Football Federation officials who sought the player to play for the France national team as he had become eligible for French citizenship. Hazard did not respond to the courtship and later stated, "Because of my presence in France for 7 years, I feel 99% Belgian and 1% French, but the idea of French citizenship has never crossed my mind." Hazard made his highly anticipated debut for Belgium in the match against Luxembourg, coming on as a substitute in the 67th minute for Wesley Sonk. On his debut, Hazard became the 8th youngest player in Belgian football history at 17 years and 316 days to play for the national team. On August 12, 2009, after 3 consecutive substitute appearances with the team, he made his first start under coach Frankie Vercauteren in the team's 3-1 friendly loss to the Czech Republic. Following the resignation of Vercauteren, he was replaced with manager Dick Advocaat. Under Advocaat, Hazard became a starter in the team and, on November 14, 2009, played a full match for the first time in his international career. In the match, which was played against Hungary, Hazard assisted on 2 goals in a 3-0 win. In May 2010, Advocaat was replaced as manager by Georges Leekens. After featuring as a starter in Leekens' first 3 matches in charge, Hazard began appearing as a substitute for Belgium during the 2010 November season. Leekens justified his benching of Hazard, citing the player's domestic performance, which had been underwhelming at the time, while also admitting that Hazard displayed a lack of desire in training with the national team and often neglected his defensive duties during international matches. After appearing as a substitute in 2 straight matches, Hazard returned to the starting lineup for the team's November 2010 friendly match against Russia. In the match, which Belgium won 2-0, Hazard assisted on the team's opening goal scored by Romelu Lukaku. After featuring as a starter in the team's 1-1 draw with Finland in February 2011, Hazard was relegated back to the substitutes bench for the team's important March 2011 UEFA Euro 2012 qualifying matches as Leekens preferred Nazer Chadli and Moussa Dembele on the wings. In the team's March 29 qualifier against Azerbaijan, he appeared as a second-half substitute and assisted on the team's final goal in a 4-1 win. Following the matches, French media began questioning why Hazard was struggling to be appreciated in his home country, while, at the same time, was being praised in France. Marc Wilmots, assistant coach of the national team, responded to the media reports stating some people only see Eden's qualities, and the French press are sometimes blinded by his moments of magic. In Belgium's next competitive match against Turkey on June 3, 2011, Hazard started the match, but was substituted out after 60 minutes. Disappointed with his performance and substitution, the midfielder retired to the locker room and was later spotted on television outside the stadium with his family eating a hamburger while the match was still ongoing. Following the episode, which has become known as Burgergate in Belgium, Hazard apologized for the defection, while Leekens attributed Hazard's response to the substitution as a young player making a mistake. On August 4, Leekens announced that Hazard would be disciplined for his actions during the Turkey match and, as a result, would miss the team's August 10 friendly match against Slovenia, as well as the team's Euro qualifying return match against Azerbaijan on September 2 and friendly against the United States 4 days later. On August 9, Hazard's management group issued a press release to the Belgian media. The release detailed Hazard's actions during the Turkey match, criticized the player's 3-match suspension, as well as questioned Leekens' constant criticism of Hazard. On August 25, it was announced that Leekens had lifted Hazard's suspension and the midfielder was subsequently named in the team to play the September fixtures. Leekens decided to lift the suspension after having a meeting with Hazard that was organized by the player's agent. On October 7, 2011, nearly 3 years after his debut, Hazard scored his first international goal against Kazakhstan in a 4-1 victory. The victory inserted Belgium into second-place position in its group in qualifying for UEFA Euro 2012, with the team needing a victory over Germany on October 11 to secure a place in the qualifying playoffs. In the match against Germany, Hazard played the entire match as Belgium failed to earn a place in the European Championship, losing 3-1 in Düsseldorf. Hazard made 9 appearances in the Red Devils' successful 2014 World Cup qualification campaign, scoring twice.
International goals. Style of play.
Hazard primarily plays as either an attacking midfielder or a winger and has been credited as being possibly the outstanding talent in Europe right now. At Lille under former manager Rudi Garcia, Hazard often played in the latter role and the team's 4-3-3 formation and regularly switched flanks because he could use both feet. Following the departures of fellow playmakers Johan Cabaye and Gavinu in 2011, during the 2011 December season, Garcia played Hazard as a central attacking midfielder, while also allowing the player to roam back onto the wing if necessary. 2 of Hazard's most common exemplary traits are his pace and technical ability, which have been described as astonishing and mesmerizing, respectively. Hazard's former teammate and Lille captain Rio Mavuba described Hazard as a great player, with an immense talent. He's actually not that big, but he's so fast. He's also very difficult to dispossess and his finishing is top-notch. Hazard's pace coupled with his finishing and inability to be dispossessed easily led to his former coach Claude Puel dubbing him Little Messi, in reference to the Barcelona star. Puel's sentiments were later echoed by former Marseille manager and media personality Roland Courbis, who commented, "At times it looks to me like Lionel Messi on the right-hand side." Hazard's flair and tricky style of play has been described as being similar to Real Madrid star Cristiano Ronaldo. A comparison later repeated by former French international Christophe Dugarry. His vision, described as being the trait he has improved on the most, has allowed him to develop into an effective passer, which compensates for his relatively low goal-scoring output. In Belgium, Hazard's talent and similar ascension up the country's football hierarchy has led to comparisons to former Belgian international Enzo Ciafo. Both players share the same birthplace and Ciafo himself spent time with Hazard while he was in Tubize, admitting, "Eden, you know, I've coached in Tubize. During the week, I took care of the young people at least once, and he, in those days, I immediately saw he had a secure future." However, despite the positive opinions, Hazard has endured criticism from some. His former national team coach and mentor Dick Advocaat agreed with the majority in that Hazard possessed everything required to be a world-class player, but claims a need for charisma. "I told him to have more charisma. He is a talent, but he cannot be seen like that forever." In 2010, former Belgium national team manager Georges Leekens questioned Hazard's work rate. Lille Youth Academy director Jean-Michel Van Damme countered both managers' criticism by arguing that Hazard simply possesses an intellectual honesty that is out of the ordinary and unexpected of today's footballer, declaring he is a real competitor, not a cheat, nor a moaner, because you don't hear him complaining when he gets fouled.
Career statistics. International. Sponsorship.
In 2012, Hazard signed a sponsorship deal with American sportswear and equipment supplier, Nike. He appeared in an advert for the Nike Green Speed 2 alongside Mario Götze, Theo Walcott, Raheem Sterling, Christian Eriksen and Stephan El Shaarawy in November 2012.
Honors. Club.
Ligue 1, 2010-11, Coupe de France, 1, 2010-11, UEFA Europa League, 1, 2012-13.
Individual.
UNFP League 1 Player of the Year, 2, 2010-11, 2011-12, UNFP League 1 Young Player of the Year, 2, 2008-09, 2009-10, UNFP League 1 Team of the Year, 3, 2009-10, 2010-11, 2011-12, UNFP Player of the Month, 3, March 2010, March 2011, March 2012, PFA Young Player of the Year, 1, 2013-14, Premier League PFA Team of the Year, 2, 2012-13, 2013-14, Bravo Award, 1, 2011.
Notes.
Includes the FA Cup, the Football League Cup, the Coupe de France and the Coupe de la Ligue matches, includes the FIFA Club World Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, the FA Community Shield and the Trophée des Champions.